Here we are. We're back. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Gray, and we are going to do our final chapter of the Highcaster public playtest using the beta rules. And very excited to kind of conclude this story today. Wish we could keep going with it, actually. Maybe we could pick it up again later sometime, but very much enjoying it. I hope you are as well. Why don't we go ahead and go around the virtual table here and introduce ourselves? I'm just going to do it in order of my screen here. So do you want to take it first, Lydia?
Sure. Hi, I'm Lydia. I'm half our Starmit. I play the bestest owl girl, Vicky, who is definitely going to get herself in some level of trouble today, because I feel like throughout the last few episodes we've learned that's what she's best at. And also you can't be mad at her because she's cute.
That's true. Yeah, it's those big eyes. Yeah. All right. We also have our favorite. I almost said brooding rock man, but maybe he's not brooding. He's just thoughtful.
Yeah, they're quiet, or they have these long periods of being quiet where they're remembering things. But I play Stein, who is a Holt, a magical rock person supposedly descended from the creator gods or created directly by them. And last session walked along the bottom of the lake like nothing was trouble. And now about to go to the ruins of a town they have a personal connection with that they'd rather not remember.
Yes, because of reasons. And and you too. I guess we're talking about Stein, but we should also introduce the person
Oh,
behind
yeah.
Stein.
Sorry.
This is all about Stein, though. I mean, that's fine.
I'm Rex, JT Rex 2249. Sometimes I play TTRPGs on other people's channels like this. And my Twitter is just basically me being a goofball and random stuff. So yeah,
Well, that's the best part of Twitter. Let's not talk about the worst parts of Twitter. There is also a human in this group. Lanatin, right?
Yes.
You think after so many sessions I would have figured this out, but
it's fine. when you make your names after a different language, it's always going to be rough sailing in terms of pronunciation. But yeah, I am Spencer DVA on Twitter, Discord, etc. I am playing Lanatin, who is our one human here in the party, and the mage of this party as well. And he's been a fun little character to play for these brief 3 weeks or sessions, whatever. But yeah, I'm excited to see where this concludes at.
Awesome. And last but not least, we also have our party's unicorn present.
Yes. We have Midnight Star, who is, he's a family unicorn, an equine. And has a mate, and he has twin colts who are very mischievous, and he tries his best to keep everybody under control, but that's a difficult task. And I am Danny, Danielle Delisle on Twitter, and I write for games, I play games, and I'm a voice actress, and you can find out what I'm doing. You can check me out on Twitter or my website, which is danielledelisle.com.
Awesome. Well, welcome back, everybody. Just to recap, you found your way through the mountains to get to a crossing where apparently there was some sort of spiritual activity disrupting the Rishan trade route. And that journey was interesting. You met a dragon, made it through alive, which was great. Stellar work, everybody.
We didn't get eaten.
You
Yay!
didn't get eaten. And I think you also realized, what dragons are in Highcaster. They are very old, very intelligent, very big. So that's good that you didn't misstep there. You did make it through, and you found your way to the crossing. And apparently, there is a perpetual spiritual war going on with these ghosts, maybe, or lost spirits, or we don't really know. But we do kind of know that this is something that happened a long time ago, because there were some zealots. Of course, there's always zealots that wanted to bring their god up to be the god of death. I don't know, some sort of death cult. I'm sure they have reasons that are important to them. And we're not going to judge those reasons because we don't know who they are. We just know that they probably slaughtered an entire town. And also, we learned that they were trying to get some sort of sacred relic from the silver mines that are nearby. But that was way back in the past, hundreds of years ago. That's really all we know. And at this point, the heroes sort of needed to group and figure out what to do next. And that's where we are. You are sort of in the plains. Well, they're really kind of low rolling hills with your spotted deciduous tree here and there. And it is just completely covered in this supernatural mist. You're nearby where the ruins of the old village was, this mining village that Holt was a denizen of at some point. And you're nearby this battleground. So at this point, nobody's really noticed you or seen you. You sort of kept your distance. What do you want to do now? You're like, oh, we actually have to do something.
Yeah.
Now. Okay. Uh-oh.
So,
Oh,
do we want to talk with them, see what's happening, or...
can we talk with them?
I mean, I could probably try to, but of the sheer number, it'll probably be hard to talk to just one of them.
They're all a little busy.
Yes.
I personally have never been able to walk into a battlefield and just say, hey, can you stop stabbing each other and tell us what's happening?
Well, we can always ask them.
Just peering over the battlefield, is there maybe any of these spirits that look like they've been injured and are sort of like out of the battle at the moment?
Are you? What's your motivation for that question? Are you trying to find a person that would be not engaged in battle that you can maybe?
Yes, that I can maybe speak to.
And this is to find information, right?
Correct.
I'm trying to, because what I'm getting at is we're going to need a roll for this, and I need to decide what the role is. So I think we're going to do a, this is the point where I should have had a character sheet in front of me, which I'll grab in a minute. But I think we're going to do a courage roll, which is scout, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
And we'll see how that goes. And the conflict is that there is a spiritual battle happening.
Okay, cool. Luckily, courage is my highest thing, but I just have a D20 and a D8, so let's see where it goes. Oh boy.
And you can, if there's a discipline that applies, you can use that. If there's a talent that applies, you can use that. And you can also spend favor and add an additional D6 if you want.
Oh, yes, that's true. No, I'm just gonna stick with this. It's a 13 total. Rolled an 8 on the D20 and a 5 on my D8.
That's great. That's
it's wonderful.
It's less than it's not less than 10. So
yeah.
Okay. So you're kind of scanning. I guess you're approaching the battle, maybe not blatantly, but kind of scouting a bit to see what you can find. On the edge of the battle is a noble of some sort that is mounted, and it looks like this person's sortie or whoever was guarding them has gone into battle and has left left them alone. But they are observing the battle in a sort of commanding pose. So the caveat outcome is while you are able to kind of get to the point of the battle, you are like looking at the commander. This is the one person that you could get to that is not involved and engaged in combat right now.
Okay. Of course, it's always the most important person staying behind.
He isn't guarded, or they. You can't really tell how they're presenting, but they're not guarded or anything right now. They're just sort of in a commanding watch.
Well, looks like we could probably talk to them.
Is this person somebody directly from Silvervale that Stein might at least recognize, or is this just some like army commander from way back when?
This commander has a banner with a ferocious dog on the shield, and you don't recognize that.
We had rolls for that last time.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
for the insignia. Yeah.
right. That's the one you didn't recognize. What you deduced was the the bad guys or the Zelders.
Vicky is spaced out sketching the insignia she sees on the battlefield, perched in one of the branches.
Mm-hmm. And
So
sort of
just to clarify, he has one of the cult banners.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's sort of like a demonic hound. Is the picture. Now you recall, and I think we talked about this last time, that they're the cult of the Ascended Hound, and the Ascended Hound was a death god, who apparently looks like a dog. So, yeah, I mean, you can you can talk to this person if you want to. You have isolated somebody. You have succeeded. So what do you want to do?
Talk to the nice guy with the puppy on the banner, because I'm sure that makes them nice. I'm joking, by the way.
Well, I mean, dog lovers, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
they like animals, so they must be nice, right? Let's
go.
Fuck it.
It's a start.
Yeah. I'll take points since I'm currently our diplomat in this fine group of people.
I mean, if we can make Vicky talk, it will be entertaining. It just won't be helpful.
Hello?
At first, they don't respond, and then after a moment, this helmed figure looks down at you. Do you have a message? Speak now, boy. And this big sword is drawn, twice your size.
Weird. Oh boy. How do I honestly lie in this situation?
That went over so well last time we dealt with this scary
Yeah, it's
person.
fine. It's fine. What seems to be going on here? We happened to stumble upon the battle and want to see where we could help if able.
This is no place for commoners. Go your way. Sheathes the sword, and he realizes you're not a threat.
In his head, Laniton takes issue with that.
You're looking for something in the mines, yes?
We are, yeah.
Or are you asking? Are you asking the?
Oh,
commander?
I'm talking to the guy on the horse.
Do you know of it?
Yes.
Then you will lead me to it.
Not sure where it is, but I've heard of it. But yes. Backpedaling.
We have.
You are wasting my attention. Go your way. And then he goes back.
Sir,
and
are you
looks
aware
towards...
you're a ghost and dead?
Looks up.
Hi, I'm up here. I'm Vicky. Nice to meet you. What's her name?
All right, so you have his attention. The next thing we need to decide is what you want with it.
Oh boy.
So, at midnight, are you going to add to this, or are you watching quietly? Oh, you're on mute.
Danny, you're muted.
Yeah, we can't hear your audio.
Still nothing.
Still nothing.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, they're doing, I don't know if it's a good job, but they're doing a job. I mean, yeah, I mean, Midnight Star's going to be watching. They all kind of, he doesn't know as if adding to it would be helpful. So he's going to kind of he's going to keep an eye on, well, they're focused on that guy. He's going to take a look around at, what's going on, like, ahead of them and around them to see what's happening, like, on the battlefield or what's going on. Like, see if he can, figure something out from that. I mean, he's been in battles, I'm sure, at some point. So, maybe he can figure something out from that while they're trying to talk to this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Basically gathering information from what's going on the battlefield.
Okay.
Like,
So we'll get to that in just a sec. So, Vicky, what do you want him? What would be the best solution for you, or the best outcome of this? What do you want from him?
Well, I basically want to see how he reacts and if he's aware of his genuinely what she asked. Are you aware you're dead? She wants to genuinely know the answer and then go from there.
Okay, so really this is you're still kind of scouting things out, really. Okay, so why don't you roll a courage, and you can take a die from Stein, since you were both kind of working at the same track here.
What's the die I'm taking?
Courage. So you can roll courage and then take Stein's courage die. What's your courage die?
Mine is a d6.
Okay.
2.
And if you would like, and if it applies, you can add a discipline too.
Really doesn't. She's not being smart. She's just being picky. Ooh. No. 8.
Okay. All right. He says, I have heard that the creatures of this land speak in riddles, but I do not have time for yours. So he kind of disengages from you and looks at the battle again, and it becomes very clear in that moment he does not know he's a spirit.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's it. That's what.
No.
Yeah.
Stein's gonna kind of walk back to walk away, like, side group.
Huddle.
And just to clarify, lore. The gods don't exist anymore, as far as everybody knows.
As
right?
far as everybody knows. Yeah, well, there's there's divided opinion on that.
Right.
Most people think they don't. Yeah.
So Stein's gonna kind of walk to where everybody is. Well, clearly they're looking for the artifact. Whoever they're fighting is protecting the artifact. So we should probably find that and then decide what we're going to do with it. I don't think we need to worry about them resurrecting their death god, though, like they wanted to.
But if, like, this is in the past, is the artifact still there where they think it is?
The city's been destroyed. Before the fall, it was destroyed. I'm not sure if it's still there or not. I don't have that information.
I mean, it can't hurt to look.
I think it's worth a shot to double check. It seems to be the focal point of all these people, and I don't think we're going to get very far trying to tell them to go away. You're dead.
Yeah, probably won't get that far.
Convincing someone they're dead is really, really, really tricky when they can talk back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't-
just don't go anywhere.
Ghost lore is so different in so many worlds. Here, are ghosts like somewhat corporeal? Can we like touch them, or will a hand like go through them?
In this case, from what you can observe, they're not material.
Leonatan, I give you my rations, and I have a nice little cinnamon roll.
Oh,
If you run through them and poke them.
And while
Let's
he
be-
considers that, let's look to Midnight Star, who is kind of circling the battlefield and looking for anything unusual. I mean, the battle looks like you would expect. It's hard to get a clear picture of what's going on because of all the mist, and the spirits are not entirely manifest. So it's hard to see what they are doing exactly. But you do notice a black cloaked figure across the battlefield watching that looks very much material and not part of the rest of the crowd. It's a bit of ways. You wouldn't have seen them or them had you not like gone around the perimeter. They're standing on an outcropping of rocks overlooking the battlefield.
Indeed. Okay. Well, then I'm gonna go back to where I'm gonna trot back to where everybody else is and has been kind of huddling and talking, and says there's an observer on that outcropping of rocks over there. Looks like a non-spirit.
Vicky is offering a cinnamon roll.
To go poke this man.
What's going on?
Sure, let's be stupid.
Vicky has a
he's-
notebook, has a pen ready to
He's
record.
just gonna walk back up to the commander. It's like, if you're still alive, why can I do this? And I just shove my arm through him.
He's gonna die.
To decide what I want to do about that.
Midnight Star's like, but
Why are you doing that?
Sorry, I tried to stop him.
for a cinnamon roll. That's why he's doing that, apparently.
Real Spencer would die for a cinnamon roll, so I mean,
Worth it.
yeah, one of those like thick airport cinnamon rolls that are like the size of your head.
Yeah, I'm thinking which humor would be appropriate for this. The reason I'm asking why is if it's to kind of show your mettle, like, I'm not afraid of no ghost.
Yeah.
Then that's a oh shoot, boy, I've suddenly lost everything in my brain. Prestige.
Okay. Yeah, my prestige is a D6, so I can use that.
Can the cinnamon roll help? Can I help in any
Yeah,
situation?
let's give you your prestige die too, since you're
That's a D8.
helping the situation.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
Motivation.
Fine. Let's look at one of my things here. This isn't really a magical thing.
It could
But-
be. It depends.
but I guess my thing is, it only gives me a D6, but there's the Discipline of Runes, which creates a magical effect that reveals wisdom or truth. I'm not using it magically, but I am trying to show this guy in the truth in the sense that they are dead.
Yeah. I think it applies.
Yeah. Let's do this. Let's do this dumb thing. Let's roll these first. What is that? Okay. Okay, so that's an 18 on the D20 and a 6 on the D6, so that's a 24.
Wow. Okay, because I was going to go a different direction with this.
Oh yeah, I'm like, this could go one of two ways, and I am scared for both.
So you get a favor.
Yeah.
And you get to determine sort of the outcome of this. Would this mean that he realizes he's a spirit or not?
Ooh.
Since you have
Yeah, I
narrative
like
control, you get to decide what happens.
I mean, I thought that was kind of when you went up and said that. I thought that was kind of the
Yeah.
like if you're
I
not
think-
spirit,
I think sort of like, yeah, I think he realizes he's a spirit. That's the whole point of this. So
Yeah. You reach through his body? Is that the
Yeah.
idea?
just like center of mass.
And he immediately just draws a sword because he's being attacked and tries to cut you down and realizes that your hand is inside of him and the sword is not real. And then he says, "Oh," and then dissipates. And just kind of like this becomes part of the mist.
So that fucking worked.
Better than I
That was-
thought. Now, if you don't mind, just starts pounding into this fucking cinnamon roll because you can tell he's like, that worked. Okay,
Adrenaline.
yeah, fear eating. Just
So Midnight Star, you can see that, that since your eye is on the battlefield, that the cultist forces are dissipating into the mist.
Oh.
I don't think anybody else notices that because they're not observant like you are.
Midnight Star says it appears you didn't just dissipate that spirit. It looks like some of the others are dissipating as well.
Huh. Did has Midnight Star pointed? Yeah, has Midnight Star
Yeah.
pointed out that figure to
Yeah,
us?
you had
He
your
did,
you had your
yeah.
thoughts on that cinnamon roll, so I'm not sure. I mean, it may have
Yeah.
taken you this long to remember.
And then as soon as he probably downs this thing in a few bites and then just looks at the figure and sees how they react.
They turn and slowly walk away down the outcrops out of your vision.
Perhaps that's who we need to talk to. Seems like they might be the one that's causing these spirits to be here in the first place, or they at least might know more about it since they're observing.
Yeah,
True.
let's go after them.
Okay.
Might not also hurt to keep an eye out for the defensive forces commander and try the same thing.
So do we just scream at everyone, "You're dead, you're dead, you're dead," and then run through them like
Vicky's just
streaking?
going flying and everything.
Well, the whole thing
The
is
root are
falling
running
apart.
through
It's like a thread. You know, you pull the one thread and things start to unravel, and spirits are slowly dissipating throughout. But Big Key might think that's because she's saying, "You're dead, you're dead, you're dead." Like, it may or may not have to do with what she's doing, but it is unraveling.
That worked a lot better than I had thought it was going to.
Could we be nice about it? Like, "You're dead. Go to the light and find peace," rather than "Fuck off. You're dead. Go. Don't be my problem." Like,
You're
I
dead,
feel like
get out of here.
I start throwing spirits copies of the handbook for the recently deceased.
Yeah, it seems like that this one action has unraveled the entire battle, and now there's just a heavy mist over time.
Let's go talk to the person Midnight found.
Yeah, let's
'Cause-
follow.
Yeah,
Let's-
Midnight's gonna trot along after in that person's direction towards the outcropping. He's going to try to move relatively fast because I assume there's some distance that we would have to catch up. So he's gonna start, kind of trotting, and assuming the others know what's going on too, or at the very least, he says, "I'm gonna try to catch up at the very least," and starts kind of trotting off, like at a good pace to try to catch up.
Big Key can keep pace, but the other two cannot. This is, a quadruped with lots of muscles that can go very fast.
Do I make? Oh, I really don't want to make Vicky big again. No,
Do you want a piggyback ride?
no, I can keep up fine enough.
Okay.
The Midnight Star, you crest the hill at the outcrops of rocks, and down below is a small valley. We're talking very small hills, but there are a bunch of them. And then the valley has a clear set of ruins that are weathered down. It used to be the village, probably Silvervale, kind of nooked in sort of a the armpit of a hill. And there's a mine that's built into that hill as well. Sorry,
So you can see,
Angus
like,
is
the
really
entrance.
upset about something.
So you can like see the entrance of the mine.
Yeah, and you're on a good hilltop point of view of it, and it's just like fallen structures. Any stonework that's there is still there, but it used to be wooden buildings that are gone. And that. Let's see if he's gonna finish. No, this is just going to keep happening. All right, so and there are tracks that
There's a dog in the village
there's
somewhere
a dog that's
barking his
barking.
head off. You can hear it reverberate around the valley.
It's not the Ascended Hound. It's another dog. I don't know. Maybe it's the Ascended Hound. But anyway, you see that black cloaked figure is now standing on one of the ruined walls, probably a good 20 feet high. But in the village, there is no way that this person could have run or walked that distance in that time. Scaled a wall and is now looking out at. But the figure is facing you, looking at you cresting the hill. You're not there yet. You're still trying to catch up. Too far for you.
So do I have Vicky with me? I assume.
Yeah, Vicky is nearby because I assume she's flying.
Yeah.
Vicky's flying and still writing in her notebook, and every now and then narrowly crashing into things.
Midnight Star says, well, it appears whoever it is knows some kind of magic or something to get over there that fast.
Do you think they're the ones who kind of resurrected these ghosts? Like that they're not natural here, but...
It's possible. When Lanaten gets here, we can ask, but they seem to be looking in our direction.
Wait, gets here? Where? Oh.
That scene from the Holy Grail where Lanaten's coming at a distance. Keeps on coming, keeps on coming. And it suddenly
It's
appears.
the same distance. It never shortens.
Did we wait for them? Or
They eventually do arrive if you wait.
If you want to take a flight around, that might be helpful.
And Vicky shall do just that.
Try to fly casual.
I will put the notebook away now that I have to pay attention, and you can't save my bacon if I don't. See, I learn.
When Stein and Lanaten get here, Midnight Star point out, it's like that figure seems to have gotten there quite fast. On that in the ruined village, using magic of some kind, I assume.
Most likely.
Stein is too busy kind of looking out at the village itself, kind of looking not lost, but distant.
I assume. Yeah, I mean, it's magic. I could use magic to send some sort of telepathic message to this figure.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can do anything if you're able to.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll just send a brief, like, telepathic message and be like, who are you?
So if you're trying to figure out, who, if that's your true motivation, your curiosity, try to scout and figure out that's going to be a courage roll. But if you're actually trying to show off a little, that might be a different roll.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, I'm just going.
All right, so that's a courage roll.
Yeah, my D8. Woo.
Hey, over here.
God, fuck. That's nah. That's a whopping 5, good
Okay.
sir.
All right, we'll get back to that.
5.
So Vicky, you're circling the area.
Circling to try and approach the figure from any angle that is more obtruse.
As soon as you get high enough, you can see that there is a large, almost mountain-sized slab of obsidian stuck into the hill. And from the distance where you were, you thought it was just another hill. But now that you kind of come in close, you can see that that's obsidian. And that is probably because it's a star shard, which means this is where one of the gods fell. That also means that this area is got to be badly corrupted.
And it's a big one.
Yeah, and it's a big one. So, red alarms are going off at this point in your mind. And at this point, you can see this black figure kind of down below you is reaching out like this into the ahead of him, and then grabbing. And you could see from obviously from the bird's eye view, but Laniton's spirit is yanked out of his body.
Oh, good.
And it's like you can see kind of like the whispering spirit, and it's being dragged towards this
I will
figure.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Try and dive towards the hand and claw it if I can, before the spirit reaches him.
All right. So roll your talon. Oh wait, defend, which is virtue.
And virtue. That's 54.
So
Does
courageous.
anything help? No, not really. Oh, I completely forgot about hirelings. Oh well.
Oh right.
we completely ignore that. Nope, nothing wits. Nope, this is physical. I have nothing on physical.
Can I maybe try
Beautiful.
to help her?
I'm up in the air.
Yeah, this is
But guess who rolled a natural one on the d20?
nice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we're doing.
Oh, yeah. So that was my D20 roll too. I rolled a natural
Oh
one on mine.
no.
By the way, not that it matters since it's the last session, but you both get to wax your ability that you lost on. But like that
Which
matters.
that would be.
Is
Yeah.
there a favor I can use to re-roll, or am I thinking Great American
No,
Witch?
you can use favor to add a 6 to the pool, but you can't re-roll.
Yeah, even with the
Oh.
6, it's not going to be enough.
I forgot about that damn
I rolled
feat
it-
I took. Damn it.
It's 4.
So, oh no, it's all right. You remember, you get to play out the failures as well as the successes.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
I know. Just one of those things I remember as soon as things go bad.
So,
So
If-
the
yeah.
whispering. Anakin, from your point of view, I mean, you are disembodied. You can see your body moving away from you as you're being pulled towards this figure, and you don't feel anything or hear anything. It's actually a little relaxing in a way,
Oh,
if it wasn't
good.
so terrifying.
Yeah.
And he's pulling you in, and from your point of view, you can see that he's making another gesture with his other arm as he's pulling you in, and there are skeletal figures that were in a mass burial ground underneath the ground where he stands, clawing their way out of the ground by the hundreds.
Oh, we're getting into some Jason and the Argonauts.
Vicky just
Back
basically
here.
nose diving
like
into
Ray
a
Harryhausen.
So yeah, Vicky, you get a good close view of that, but your clawing did not hurt him at all.
If you let it, if she dives down and goes for it, just misses it and ends up in a mud pile completely covered in it, just very unceremonious and very, very unheroic.
Feathers crossed. Yeah.
Midnight Star's gonna start going at full gallop towards what's going on.
To take them
Like-
down, right? You have zombies coming up out of the
Yeah.
ground, and
Yeah,
this
like-
guy's taking your friend's spirit.
Yeah, so Midnight Star is just gonna try to give an intimidating whinny or neigh or I don't know, battle cry for horse, and start galloping towards this person.
So, is the goal to take him down, or are you trying to intimidate him?
Oh yeah, take him down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. So this
totally
is a
take
straight
him
up
down.
courage roll against this guy.
All right. So I get D8 for that. Come on. Get out of your home. Okay. All right, and let's see. Would any of my, let's see, I've got defend someone from harm, warder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I
There's
add that?
you
'Cause
can
I'm
add that,
trying
or
to-
there's the other one where you're just trying to harm somebody, right? The sworder. Well, in this case, it
Yeah.
would be your spear, but either way.
Okay, all right.
Depends on how you're doing it.
I got no. I think he's gonna I think he's gonna go for the swirter
Mm-hmm.
because
Gonna launch your lance out.
Yeah, launch my spear and do that. So it'll be the regular D20 and then the D8 for my courage, and then let's do a D6 for the discipline. All right.
Oh, while you're rolling, Spencer, I forgot. You should probably have taken harm for that.
Yeah, I did take. I did mark a harm for courage.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
I will
No
take
worries.
a 21.
Wow, that's great.
I rolled a 15 on the D20 and I rolled a 6 on my D6.
Okay, so you get a favor,
Sweet.
and you get to decide, what the outcome of this is. Does it mean that he can't hold on to that spirit anymore? Does it mean that he gets impaled?
Yeah.
You have narrative control, so what happens?
Okay. So first I'll take my favor. He's gonna. Yeah, I think what ends up happening is it causes Midnight Star's gonna impale him, but I think that would probably cause him to let go of the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So, Midnight Star comes running across the valley or whatever, mane flowing, and comes across this guy who's probably concentrating on, pulling a spirit and these skeletons and whatnot. And, Midnight Star just bodies him, crashes into him and kind of, he lets go of, the spirit.
Right, so Lanaton, your spirit is thrust back into your body, and it's like you've just taken a huge breath of air after being underwater. As your lungs start working again suddenly. The this Magistar, whoever he is, gets this spear and he looks down and then just looks up like this, and this black smoke comes pouring down the hillside. Perhaps from the big shard, but you are now all completely in darkness.
Good.
Stein can see.
So, Stein, did Lanaton's body fall to the ground?
Yes.
Okay, Stein would have grabbed Lanaton's body to keep the zombies from eating him or whatever these things are, just in case. So at this point, Stein is running through the darkness, trying to keep up with Midnight Star. And there's zombies between us and this Magister guy, right?
Yeah, there are hundreds of them pulling themselves up out of the ground. This was some sort of mass grave.
Okay.
And they're in various states of put togetherness. I mean, some of them have more parts than others.
Yeah, so as Stein is running to go after the Magister and holding Lanaton, who's however he is at this point, Stein is going to, as he's running, try to, at least the ones closest to him, it would take a lot. So probably just the couple that would be close enough to grab onto him. But as he's running through these skeletons and they're coming out, you see the earth coming up and folding back over them as if they're trying to push them back into the ground.
Yeah.
Basically, the get back in there and you're shoving the zombie back into the grave.
You're folding in the cheese.
Over them. Yeah. So there's just waves of earth crashing over these zombies, shoving them back underground as best as he can.
That's awesome. All right. This is a protect, probably, right? They're trying to get Lanaton to safety?
I'm just keeping him safe, but I'm really trying to just get to this Magister to attack him.
Okay.
Do something to disrupt whatever's going on.
I think this is a protect. Well, it's called defend in this game. Why don't you roll virtue?
Cool. All right.
Against the zombie things.
That is an 18, a 12 on my d20, and on my d8 a 6.
All right, so the earth is just bringing them back in, and you can see bony hands sticking out, but then come back down, and you're sort of like, as you're going, this is sort of happening around you. So there's sort of this path of dirt crushing zombies as you go through, and you get there, but this Magister is not physical anymore. It looks like he's shifting and turning into some of this mist. So there's a change. He's kind of turned into something that's not what he was, and the spear falls to the ground. There's no body to hold it up anymore. But you're right there. Laniton's kind of recovered. Biggie is okay now, recovered. And now you're confronting a bunch of zombies coming up out of the ground to close in on you. This now wraith-like wizard, and behind him the open mouth of the mine. What do you do?
So everybody else is covered in darkness, right? Like
Yeah.
nobody else can see.
Yeah.
So Stein is gonna say, "Oh, he's not physical anymore. We gotta clear this darkness out of the way. I'll try to hold the zombies off, but if you could do something to dissipate this, something."
Okay. Honestly, Laniton can't say shit. But I saw how that black mist worked, almost. Okay, cool. He is essentially going to try and create the opposite of what this individual just did. And essentially create a, like, sort of like sunburst to just, like, dissipate the darkness, essentially. I'd say this is probably a helping sort of thing, because I am trying to make sure my other friends can see so we can take care of this. Okay, prestige works. Do you think my adaptable for being a Viver comes into play here? Did I get a talent die whenever I confront a threat as a result of the elements? Hell yeah. Cool. Yeah. Alright, cool. And then do I have... I guess we could kind of apply... do I want to apply discipline here? No, I think I'm going to need that later, so let's just... Hey, cool. 17 on the D20 with a 6 on my D6, so 23.
23, awesome. Wow, that's great. Mark off another check here. So obviously your goal here was to negate the darkness so that the others can...
So I like to imagine it's almost kind of like the opposite of a black hole. So you watch as there's this sort of like sphere of white that appears in the center of all this. And then you watch as all this mist just...
And it kind of empowers everybody. You get a favor for that, by the way. It's also high. And I think I'm going to get everybody, you get a D6, actually an advantage die. It was not a D6. That's you get an advantage die in your next roll, which means you get to roll your humor die twice.
Ooh. Very nice.
Yeah. So, and pick the highest result. So, so that has kind of empowered you all, and you can take a moment, if you will, to just sort of describe how your character changes or pivots when that light blasts away the darkness and reveals this whispering kind of in the light of the brightness is sort of this whispering smoke trail of a person who doesn't look so powerful now. take a moment and describe your character in this moment visually so we can see what the story looks like.
I think Vicky is getting herself out of the mud, which she's been working on, but as the light comes back, she finds a root or something that she can drag herself out of, and shakes and gets all poofy, and then flutters up to Midnight Star, because this is getting serious and she's not a fighter in any way, shape or form. So she sits there and just goes, "Just tell me how I can help." And it's her serious voice for once.
Midnight Star, like when the light comes on, you see his like hide and like his horn and everything just kind of like glints, like when the light just like bursts. And he'd been like looking around like in the darkness, or at least trying to feel or hear something so he could turn and start, you know, if anybody came near, you know, trying to attack. But then when the light comes on and he sees kind of this wispy whatever, he kind of like wheels on it, right? Like, you know, finally zeroes in on it when the light comes back and like turns to face it. And like just as like Vicky kind of like lands, you know, and says, you know, how can I help? And Midnight Star says, you know, just hold on. And, you know, and he kind of like rears up and like neighs, like, you know, he's gonna go after this guy.
How close is this wraith to me?
Oh, you're as close as you like to be. You rolled really well.
Okay.
Distance is only important as it contributes to the story. So, what do you want
I'm
to do?
gonna pull the most movie bullshit ever.
I
don't think
trying to
he's-
hold off the zombies
he's-
right now.
Yeah.
He's sort of just, I like to think within close to arm's reach, maybe, of the wraith, and just like, all right, kind of let you know how it feels. And I mean, I'm gonna do something similar, but a lot more mean to what I did to this commander. He starts to press multiple different runes and sort of just attempts to reach into this wraith and pull out whatever semblance of a heart there would be to the undead, in this case a wraith, and is essentially just trying to tear it out.
All right, cool. Well, there are zombies coming in. Holt is a brick wall, literally and figuratively. Not going to make you roll against the zombies. You are crushing them as they're coming in, holding them off, but it is getting a bit much. If something doesn't change, you're probably going to get overwhelmed soon. Midnight has veered onto the target, and at this point sees through the wraith, and there is an actual person inside of the cave, inside of the mine, sitting kind of almost lotus style, and it occurs to Midnight Star that this wraith is a projection, that the real person is in there. But at that moment, let's see what the dice say on that, Lanaton. I think we are doing a courage here, a full on strike, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be make a stand.
Yeah, I think he's.
If this is about your
he's
moral
going
conviction.
like this is full intent to harm, honestly.
Yeah. All right. So courage.
All right. Cool.
Oh wait. No, let's call this condemn. You're bringing
Okay.
judgment down upon him.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's prestige.
Okay. Let me think here. Because if I remember, I think the one I took, the feat I took was that one that just lets me succeed a roll once per session.
Yeah, I think there's one that does that. Yeah, is that the one you want to use?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So You pull out this. Well, you pull out what you think is going to be a heart, but well, you tell me what it is since you just spent your feet.
Um, since honestly, I don't know the real person who's projecting this being is there.
Yeah.
Um, but I'd like to think maybe as they reach in, he can almost kind of sense it. That at least maybe this thing is a projection. And then just turns his hand and slams the wraith against the wall.
Does that make the body kind of lurch forward? Is he,
Oh yeah,
is
I
he
like
tethered?
to think, or maybe it's kind of like tethered, where it's like if they're slammed against the wall, the real person is also just sort of careened into this stone wall.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's kind of what I had in my mind too. So he's kind of tethered to the projection, and when you smash him, he gets smashed. So, Vicky, you can see this person in the cave as well, and Midnight Star. You can see this person in the cave, and also you can see that Holt is about to get overwhelmed by hundreds of these climbing, writhing, broken skeletons. They're coming in like waves. It's almost like they're made out of water. They're crashing up against him.
Yeah, when the pulse of magic goes out, I imagine that you see Stein's features and the crystals on their body kind of glow a little bit more, like the the magic bits. And there's just this shockwave in the earth that just a literal rippling of the ground, that just knocks all of the zombies down on the ground and buys a little bit of time. But then they get back up, and at this point, Stein is just kind of in a way raging. I imagine these are all the people, all these bodies are wearing like the uniforms and armor of like the cultists and the people of the village and whoever else came to defend the village. So at this point, they're just like angry at this is happening, and that like not only has a place that they lived is destroyed, like everything else, but now it's being violated. So he's just like swinging rocks, all these kinds of things to keep him back. But at some point, he's going to start getting tired because it takes a lot of effort to move that much earth.
After I slam this person against the wall, I'll just turn to both Becky and Midnight Star's like, I can take care of this one. Go.
Yeah, so Midnight Star will turn around and try to help Holt, I guess. And Vicky can, continue to hold on or stay with Laniton or whatever she wants to do.
Vicky usually in that regard trusts Midnight Star to call the shots because she's not super useful in anything fighty. I think she throws Laniton a pouch just because she panics for a second. Just a little leather pouch that you may or may not have seen before.
What is in it? Oh. Okay, yeah. How's this individual looking after I've slammed him against a stone wall?
You can only see his silhouette. You can't really tell, but he's standing up and looks like he might be gesturing. Like he's calling up some magic.
Oh. He thinks he has a chance. This is fun.
Before we get to that, Vicky, you hear what sounds like whimpering coming from deeper inside the mine. Some animal is whimpering.
Did you hear that? Midnight?
Very focused on zombies, probably didn't.
Oh. Oh.
Spearing
oh.
skeletons.
She'll be like, and you see her panic, and then she flies off to follow the whimpering sounds, trying to dodge zombie punches and being very, very, very sad because.
Okay, well, let's see how the zombie situation goes. So, Midnight, go ahead and roll courage. And
Cool.
Holt can give you their courage die as well, since you're both kind of in this together.
Okay. So, 2d8, and I assume he's let's see. Yeah, he's doing Schwerter.
Yeah.
My courage dies a d6.
Cool. Mine's a d8, so I have the d8 from my courage, the d6 from Holt, and then he's gonna use discipline. It's the last one. Why not? So I guess we'll use the d10 because I already used the d6. So.
Well, you get a
alright.
D8. The graphic might look like a 10, but
Oh, whoops. My bad then. Thought I was good to go there. Okay.
good note for playtesting, though.
Yeah. I was trying to see what the number was. I was like, is that 8 or 10? All right. So, well, I rolled an 18 on the d20.
Nice.
Hey.
I rolled a 7 on the d8. I'll try a couple more times on the other 2 d8s. I rolled an 8 actually on the
Oh
next
my
roll
God.
on that, and another 8. So I guess 18 and 8.
So I can cross
That's
out the
gonna
zombie
be a
threat. That looks like-
26. Midnight Star just wades in, just like hoof, just like back kick, just archery spear over here, just horn over here, just does a Kill Bill like zombie on his horn and flicks it off, just going crazy.
Yeah. You get a favor, by the way. Not that you'll need it.
Sweet.
And you just pulverize this undead army, returning the bones to their soil unceremoniously, broken and scattered all over. And you can kind of see that the magister who was conjuring them or controlling them is losing confidence and is backpedaling and trying to get away.
Midnight Star throws a zombie into another zombie.
So let's go to Vicky before we deal with this magister. So Vicky, you're flying into the mine. There is
Vicky is flying into the mine and going, oh god, oh god, oh god. Oh god.
a lot of it's rubble. There are lots of bats, which I don't know if that bothers her or not, but
She will apologize if she bumps into them.
they're scattering. There's sort of a camp, a make-do camp that this person has set up apparently, with tomes and all of these books, which look really interesting probably to her.
Ooh,
but
books.
what's more interesting to that is this big black dog that probably stands the height of a person at its shoulder, like a mastiff, but is chained, and there are 8-10 chains that are chained from a collar to the ground, and keeping the dog there. The dog is the one that was whimpering.
Dog. We're talking about ancient gods. Dog. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Hound dog.
Hound. Biggie will fly above. Hello, you. Can you understand me?
The dog turns around and is surprised to see and hear another person, and starts posturing Gets down, crouches, chained. Can't really do anything, but
You're very locked up and chained. That's very stupid of you to do. Like, what are you gonna do? Just spit at me? Stop it.
it does that. It like snaps at you.
Vicky lands in a safe distance. Is there anything about the
Crouches.
dog that would strike me as familiar, knowing what that dog does here? Like, are they simple black hound, or is there anything ornate about it?
No, well, just the sheer size of it. Given everything that you've been through so far, you can assume that this is, if not the Ascended Hound, some sort of avatar or something, a beast of it or something. You know, this is not a normal dog. Probably has something to do with this cult.
I'm thinking if I can, in any way, shape, or form, communicate with it other than in growling and spitting. Alright, Vicky, as she lands, is slowly walking up to this huge thing, and not that anyone's there to see it, but you will see her pull herself up, chest out, in incredibly commanding posture from this tiny, tiny owl person, and she will raise out one feathered finger and go, "Sit!" and use my discipline or Aten to use wits and words to change someone's mind or the tone of the situation
Nice.
to try and not get eaten by the Ascended Hound god creature thingy.
That's awesome. Yeah, roll it. Roll as many dice as you can.
Oof. All right. So this is one of the disciplines.
So you can choose a D8.
Oh, I'm definitely choosing the D8s. I'm also using. Nah, long history doesn't apply. I'm using a favor to add another D8 to that. I think that's all I can do. Not for this. Am I adding a prestige, courage, or virtue?
Oh yeah, right.
Or is
Sorry,
it-
you would
which
be.
one?
I think this is enforce your
don't have
will,
the
which is
moves up.
courage.
Oh yeah, it's a D6. It's fine. Natural 20. I'm not shitting.
Nice.
Yes.
All coming together.
Add a 7 on the D8.
I
So-
love it. I love it when a plan comes together.
I love it how the last roll was a 1 and this one is a 20, and it's right next to the whiskey glass. I mean, orange juice glass.
You get a
Totally orange juice.
You get a favor. Not that that matters, but you tell me what happens. I have narrative control with a roll like that.
So, Becky walks up to it, goes sit, and the dog looks incredibly confused, as it does, in fact, sit. And Vicky keeps walking into the range of its chain to the point where it could easily jump forward and tear her head off. Down. And it goes down. And then she stands in front of it and goes, "Who's your good boy? Who's your good boy? Who's your good boy?" And uses both her fingered feathered thingies to it's a very big thing, but to basically scritch the nose, I think. And we see the hind leg go a little bit. It still looks very confused.
But eventually starts panting and shows the belly and awesome. All right, so Vicky has a new pet.
Vicky goes, I didn't think this would work. Now what do I do?
Well, let's go back to the business at the mouth of the cave.
Yes.
You have used his wraith experience, his wraith body to smash his real body. Looks like he's about to run away at this point. He just saw his undead get crushed by a unicorn and a big stone person.
Oh,
What's next?
you're looking for mercy. You lost the right to that when you decided to hurt my friends. And he'll pull out that leather pouch that Vicky tossed to him, throws it in their direction, and I mean, essentially what I'm doing is I'm adding magic to the flammable colored powder. Do you know what white phosphorus is, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
I'm essentially going to make a magic version of that, but rainbow.
All right, awesome. And is this condemn? It sounds like it. You are bringing judgment down on him.
Yeah.
That's different than strike, which is resolving conflict through combat.
Yeah, I think this is definitely condemn. And that's prestige, right?
Yeah, that's prestige.
That's a D6, but I do get 2 of those.
If you want to spend a favor, you can add another.
Yeah, I'm using my Sage Discipline, which is using a ritual to create a magical effect that harms or protects from harm, which I will give my D8 to. Yeah, I think that's it for me. So we'll see where this goes. Okay. So that's good. It's cocked. Still not great. That is going to be... Wait, did I read my D8 right? It's not much better. So 14.
Okay. Well, that definitely resolves the conflict.
Good.
So the pouch goes in, and there's basically a rainbow explosion, right?
Yep.
And if there was a person there anymore, there isn't. There's those shadows of where this person was. Like, it was a powerful hit.
And you just
literally obliterated him. I mean, you got rid of him, but you're not going to get answers.
Fine by me. But you just see these multiple, like, multicolored bits of just, like, fire, basically, that are just sticking to the walls and the floor.
Yeah, lighting up the mine. Multicolored shadows on the wall.
Yeah. That hurt. He's just sort of leaning against the wall, sort of, flexing their wrists.
A bunch of bats are flying out, scared as hell.
Ow. That's probably enough magic for a bit.
So,
only issue, we're not getting answers. They're gone.
Are all the zombies dead now?
Yeah, that was
we hope so.
annihilated by the two of you. Yeah.
Yes.
I like to think that Vicky comes running, charging out, riding the huge hound, thinking she's saving the day. No, the zombies are already gone. She just doesn't know that yet. As she comes out, going, ah! Where are they all?
Galloping horse of a dog, like the size of midnight.
Oh no!
You probably 100% because this is how white phosphorus works. And an extremely charred humanoid body, as you're probably writing out.
Oh, she wouldn't see it. She's like,
Yes.
I'm in battle spirit now, and then I have she might accidentally trample on it, like out of the dog.
You get outside of the mine and you see nothing, no danger.
Oh, you checked
Stein
out
is
of it?
picking
That's-
bits of zombie out of Midnight's pelt.
I'm just gonna God, this is gross. I'm gonna pat down this barbecued body to see if there's anything that would be an identifier on their person that's still intact.
Obliterated it.
Yeah.
That was the cost of the success.
Yeah, fair.
In fact, you say there was a body. I think there's a shadow. Like, we just saw Iron Man 3 last night, when the bodies blow up. Spoilers.
Oh yeah, like the
it's
flash
just,
shadows.
you just see the
basically.
shadows, and that's all that's
Yeah.
left.
Oh
Continue our very nuanced and subtle methods of taking care of situations.
yeah.
Yeah.
And a whole beginning of a song, I'll have Vicky the hero saving the day, but fine. Fine. I'm not mad.
I mean, you
did
could still
some-
write that song that way.
Yeah, but it would be lying, and I don't lie. I will rewrite it. I will rewrite it to all of the heroes saving the day, and
Well, we all
I'm in
did.
there. I found a dog. She points at the dog she's sitting on.
Midnight
And-
looks it in the eye.
Good. Good for you. Good for you, Becky.
Same.
Ow.
The dog licks across your face with a huge
Ha
tongue.
ha ha. Oh.
No,
So-
no, Lena, it's. I know he smells like bacon. He's not bacon. Stop it.
And
So the dog comes down and sniffs at where the body was, and then just draws his head up, and you see a white whispering smoke trail come up. It takes the form of a spirit,
Aw, we freed the doggy.
and the dog just starts walking out of the cave, and the spirit is in tow. And then you see a bunch of other spirits coming from the battleground and throughout the village, joining this line of spirits as the dog is walking into the village.
now, if you excuse me, I think I'm going to sort of just sit down and you probably see that maybe one of the veins on his arm is sort of almost like popped and his arm is sort of bleeding a bit, well, profusely, because it's a vein. And he just sits down, sort of leans against a rock. Ow.
Who has the best healing here? Midnight does
No-
not have a lot.
Nobody here knows magic except him.
I think Biggie will fly off to see what the procession of ghosts and the dog do and record that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Stein is definitely following that too.
Okay. And then,
Midnight will stay with Laniton and kind of protect, because there's that obsidian like shard there.
yeah.
So he's gonna like protect that too, because he figures that's what the guy was after and why this whole thing was going on in the first place. Because, you know, these things get discovered. He assumed that this got discovered here somehow, and that's why all this was happening. So he's gonna kind of keep an eye on Laniton and watch that while Stein and Vicky go off to see the spirits off.
And I don't think he's really noticed the god shard or whatever these things are called at this point. And now he looks, he's like, oh. Huh. You know, it was because of one of those that I learned how to do all this in the first place.
Yes, somebody obviously wanted it very badly. These things often create violence when people start fighting over them when they appear.
Right. I was the only one there, so I mean...
The person.
And he'll
Oh, go ahead.
he'll
finish
try
your
to
thought.
use he'll try to use magic to try and patch this gross just explosion of skin.
Yeah, you can use fresh linens and maybe an ointment
Yeah.
to try to stem the bleeding. The procession is moving in through the town, and it seems like after a while, the dog has collected everybody that may have ever passed in this area. And it takes a while, maybe an hour or two. And then the dog begins galloping and jumps into the sky. And in the next moment, there's a fireball that goes up into the sky like a meteor going up. It goes high, high, high into the night sky until it just sort of stops. And Highcaster sees its first star in over 500 years.
Did Stein recognize the spirits? Were they corporeal enough to see what they look like?
Yes, definitely. Some of
So-
them weren't.
Yeah, any of the ones that Stein would have known just kind of watches sadly, but also seeing them move on also just has a major sense of like peace and closure for something.
You can see, like, as they go, they sort of see brilliance, and then they seem happy and sort of join the trail of lights up into the sky. It's like the hound is showing them how to pass over.
What a good dog.
I think we just witnessed the most important event since the fall.
Do you think calling him Puddles is inappropriate?
Don't think he would mind if you did. He seemed to like you.
I need to get a better name.
Well,
This is
you
gonna
can
be a
name the
big
star
story.
now. You get to name the star. You named the dog. You freed the dog, God.
Yeah, but
I mean-
Puddles, this. I can't name an epic tale like this. The Rise of Puddles.
And
But you can, because you're the first to do that. You can set the precedent. Who's going to argue? Nobody else has had to name the new star before.
Yeah, but
Oh, it's up to you.
this is gonna be big. Not just for us, but for everyone.
I think literally everybody just saw that happen to a degree. And there's going to be a lot of people wondering what the hell just happened and where it came from. And there's a big
Crap.
shard over here. Is the shard still there?
Yeah, it's still there, but anybody that can sense any magic, it feels dormant or dead.
So I'm gonna write on the way home, and you have to carry me or Midnight Star, so I have the epic ready when we're there, and then we need to send it out to all the big houses and to all the other scopplers, so they don't get to make up a stupid fucking story before I do, because mine isn't made up.
are you gonna
I
make
won't.
parts of it up?
I mean, I can leave out the part where you get turned into bacon.
I mean, I wasn't. No.
Your arm's a bit streaky there, Baconator.
Baconator. They have
By-
baconators in Highcaster.
By the way, he
Yield
knows how I got
Wendy's.
my magic now.
What? But how?
Midnight's.
Night Nights.
You treat me to some pastries sometime, and we'll talk about it. I'll bring some of my own.
With the nice meringue buttercream?
I can make it work.
And the cocktail cherries.
Yes, and the cocktail cherries.
Yes. And she starts furiously writing and crossing things out, and she will mutter to herself the whole time.
Midnight will just take a look around and make sure, nothing else is but, if it's quiet here, the spirits are gone, the shard is dormant, he's gonna suggest they rest and start heading back home.
Mm-hmm. And you're brought back into the capital as heroes of legend. You are the.
We did it.
We did it! We did it! Yeah. No.
Yeah.
There's a big triumph made for you. They call you the Starbringers. It's a little different than the Jefferson Starship band, but
But a better question is, what does Vicky call us in her story?
So many stupid suggestions.
And by that you mean they're amazing. So
Yeah. The dog walker is $10 an hour. No. Um,
so much pressure.
I think Starbringer is it works quite well, but I still don't think Vicky really has a concept of them as a group and as heroes. So she is first and foremost fully focused on that tale she's writing. And she's generally very, very scatterbrained, but when she's putting something together that she recognizes the scope of, she's hyper focused. So even with the festivities, she's not going to be there half the time. And when her family does kick her out of the house to go, it's part of your celebrations, go be there. She brings pieces of paper and keeps writing and keeps reformulating. And I mean, it has to rhyme, right? Epic things have to always rhyme, and
Yeah,
rhyme.
that's how you remember it. Yeah, you have to.
So, all of my ideas are stupid, but it's an epic thing. It's an actual story that shows that Biggie can be serious if she wants to. So, I think she will call it Eye of the Hound, and we'll try and spin the star as the eye of the hound watching the world and giving it the tale of basically a personified death of using the spirits, using what she saw with the spirits being carried over, turning this star into a protective figure, the hound into a protective figure that watches the world and helps the souls of the lost cross over if they cannot be, for some reason, turned into the next because that's part of their culture, turned into the next family member. What happens to the lost souls? That's always been part of her interest, and one of the theories that she's now trying to popularize as well with what she saw is that the spirits of those completely lost and completely locked when family has moved on already for centuries and they've been caught up in the battlefield, or when someone just doesn't have any descendants or any family members that could absorb their soul, it is the hound that watches over them and that helps them into the next world.
It's awesome.
All right.
It's like the name of the star too, like the Eye of the Hound.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a star and a constellation.
Yeah.
There aren't any other. All right. So.
But in her mind, he'll always be Puddles.
All right. So that's how the epic of the Eye of the Hound was formed. Congratulations, you are a mythology. So
what does
I think
everybody else do after
I think I'd like to hear from the epilogue of the other characters.
Well, Midnight Star obviously, goes back to his family and points out to the new star to the Colts and tells them the story because they always like the stories and stuff like that and everything. So now the Colts are all excited about putting stars in the sky too, and Midnight can't get them to shut up about it. And everything. So, yeah. Yeah, so he, basically, kind of explains to his Colts and his mate, Bright Sun, what happened, and they always look up at the star and everything, and now the Colts are motivated to put more stars up in the sky too, now that they know it can be done. So So they're gonna try to research and, you know, get in trouble trying to find out how to put more stars up there, doing wacky things. Like, I'm sorry, you know, covering the house in glitter is not gonna put a star up in the sky. That's not how it works.
Awesome. Goes back to the family, becomes continues your role as a guardian of the city, right, and of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, what about Stein?
So after the celebration, Stein disappears for about a week and a half, something that people who are friends with them would be familiar with. You know, normally it's scouting, going out into the woods, doing things. But Stein will come back to Bicky and Laniton in Midnight, and Midnight's family as well, because Stein is friends with them. And kind of ask them to follow them. They have something that they want to show the group, and so they're kind of walk through the woods for about an hour or two, pretty far out, away from everything, and in this kind of big mountainside hillside cliff that's covered in trees and moss and overgrowth. Stein walks up to the side of it, and like the face of it kind of opens, revealing the mouth of this cave. And inside the cave, you see, torches every amount so that you can see, and leads you into the cave. And at first, it looks like a normal cave, but then a few paces in, the ground changes texture. It's still stone, but now it's in the form of bricks. Like, it has the look of bricks, like imitation of bricks. The walls look like the inside of a castle hallway, with like everything made in stone, but all formed into like portraits, vases, furniture, things you might find in a hallway of a castle. And on the other side, you see what looks like should be windows, but instead of a view into the landscape is kind of a carved picture of, a distant landscape. And as you keep going in, it changes from like the walls of a castle to the walls of and floor of a villa with a colonnade and all these different things. And as the walls change from different styles and buildings, cabins, all this stuff, you see all these chambers that look like they imitate the inside of buildings or city streets, all carved out of the same stone. And finally, after a few minutes, turns into another chamber, and the ground takes, and it looks like the street or the roadway of our city. There's a stone face that looks like Midnight's, and you've seen figures of people too, like statues of people as well. But in this one, you see like the hut of Midnight's, home. You see the tree that Bicky lives in. You see the home or the place that Laniton works in. Kind of grouped, it's not perfectly sized. And finally, Stein kind of stops and turns and looks at you, and behind Stein is statues of Midnight and his colts and his mate, and Bicky excitedly writing a story and looking animatedly as it's a stone statue of her basically telling a story. And you see Lanitin looking kind of gruff but amused. And finally, for the first time, Stein kind of turns to you and looks and says, so this is kind of where I keep all of my memories. And this took about a week, but I wanted to show you. Nobody really sees it. It makes it easier to remember things later.
The cults are like super excited. They're like going up and like posing like they're statues and like, you know, and everything. And, you know, Midnight nuzzles his mate and he goes over and, you know, touches his horn to Stein and thank you.
I'm trying to remember how. I know Bicky's not very tall. How tall is Bicky?
Vicky is tiny. I don't
And
know the actual date. It
Okay.
was small.
Yeah.
Small bar.
He'll sort of lean over, but not necessarily get down on eye level, because I'm sure Bicky is one of those people that hates that. It's like, you know, you are actually pretty good. Stories.
Well, yeah. Wait, who said I'm not?
No, I just don't think you're told enough.
Okay, fair. And she flies up to sit on Stein's shoulder. And you can practically feel her vibrate. Can I look at all of them, please?
I'd be happy to tell you about them. Some of this is from before the fall.
I will treat them with the utmost respect and only ever write about things you'll allow me to.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
what's this?
remember
Where
my
do we start?
friends.
Why they disappear in the caverns for many years.
Yeah.
How does
Don't get lost.
What's this? What's this?
And I'm imagining Midnight has a problem with like every time the cult are to be found, they've like snuck off to this cave now that they know where it is.
Stein seals it back up. So they probably try to sneak in behind him or something.
Did you have an epilogue you wanted to add, Lanaton?
I think he takes up a lot more baking now that he doesn't have to worry about as many diplomatic things for now. He does eventually do as he promised, and goes over to Vicky's family's place with the pastries with the exact specifications that Vicky detailed, and sort of just goes on to tell his story about how he obtained magic and how he was trained. Yeah, I think he trusts you enough. Talks about another person who's being trained to be. Remind me what the mages are called here, Chemra or something like that, or
I think that's right. I don't have it in front of me.
yeah.
So
Let me
let's
see
go
if I
with
can
that.
find it. Let's see. It's something like that. Yeah. There's another person being trained to be a Chemra that thought that the way that Laniton was being trained was illegitimate. So they got into a fight through magic one night, and Laniton killed him. It was chalked up to just being an accident, but Laniton knew what he was doing. And he really wants to try and only use his magic now, as he kind of did earlier in this adventure, just to do his best to protect his friends, I guess his family at this point. So he doesn't really have much left other than the other members of the four. So, yeah.
I respect that you told me all these things. I will not write them down because that would be weird and super counterproductive. Have you tried therapy?
I mean, it helps sometimes. Because I just never really fully talked about it before, but that got dark for a second. Should I make you more of these?
Yeah. More cocktail cherries,
Okay.
please.
Just pull. I think because he knew she was going to say it, just pulls out a jar.
Cocktail cherries. Cute.
All right. Well, I think that's where it ends with the Mists of War. Our first Highcaster campaign.
Yeah.
I hope you all enjoyed it. Maybe we'll do it again. But that does conclude this chapter. So I'm Chris, and you can find me at christopher.world, where I keep everything. Who else is here? Lydia?
I'm Lydia. I'm half a Starman, and that's where you can find me. You can also find me in the meat space now. Again, out there in Edinburgh, tour guiding and shit. So, yay. But yeah, I'm still occasionally around here on Twitter and on some streamed campaigns that might be coming up in July. But more of that when it actually happens.
Awesome. Rex, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm Rex. You can find me on Twitter as well, sometimes on streams. Probably not for a while, though, taking a break and just focusing on home games while I do school, because education.
Nice. And the order switched up, so I guess it's Danny next.
Yeah, I'm Danny. You can find me at Danielle Delisle on Twitter and danielledelisle.com on the internet to find out what I do. I write games, I write for games, I do streaming, and I write stories, and I'm a voice actress as well. So, any of those things. And I will hopefully be actually in a long-term campaign sometime in July. So
Nice.
I'm excited about that. So that'll be streamed. So you should definitely watch my Twitter for that, because just a hint, we're going to be boldly going where no one has gone before. So.
Chirk.
Albuquerque. And last but not least, Spencer.
Yeah, I am at Spencer DVA on Twitter, Discord, etc. Actually, I start streaming again this Tuesday. I will be over on Weave the Tale playing in a Sunder campaign, which is a game that I believe just got released back in like March of this year. And it's a solar punk setting, and it seems real cool. It's a world where metal does not exist, and a lot of things are just made through plant matter.
But what do you headbang to?
I don't know. It's a good question. But I am playing a new Gaian, which I guess if we put it in D&D terms, I'm playing a new Gaian inventor, which is basically like a dryad artificer. And it looks like a really fun game and a really fun crew of people we're playing with. So Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern over on Weave the Tale, it will be session 1 of that campaign, and I'm super excited for it.
Awesome. Good stuff coming. Well,
I hate you, Rex.
Comments in chat.
So Highcaster is going to come to Kickstarter likely this month, June 2021. And I'm looking forward to getting this to the market. I think the game is a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy it and look out for it. Until then, I will see you next time. I'm not sure what I'm doing next. We'll find out when I do it. So long, and thanks for joining us.